Welcome into today's Camino segment. With this year marking major milestone anniversaries for both our country and the state of Colorado, it is important to remember those who sacrificed their lives to keep us safe. And that includes honoring the invaluable contributions made by Hispanic Americans. Joining me now to share more about how a local nonprofit is recognizing those sacrifices and the achievements is community activist and historian Ricardo LaFore. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. This Mile High Veterans is actually the grantee for this project. We're located out at 1717 Federal across from the stadium. Our charge is to answer the call for veteran services, and that includes a myriad of things. But one of the things that it includes is the accurate depiction of our history and the contributions that Latino soldiers have made, beginning with the War for Independence all the way to the present wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. This whole thing began when it was announced that the 150 Commission, honoring America's birthday and Colorado's 150th birthday, that there would be money available for community projects. So I immediately thought, if we are going to celebrate 250 years of American exceptionalism, then we had better honor the people who make America exceptional. And that included, for me, Hispanic veterans who have fought, like I said, in every war, beginning with the War for Independence all the way to Iraq and Afghanistan. And basically, that is what the project attempts to do. It's a 1-hour project that, I guess if I had one complaint, it would be that it's almost impossible, well, it is impossible, to put 250 years of Hispanic military history into a 60-minute documentary. So what this really is a microcosm of a much larger story. I would hope that if there's people out there, accomplished filmmakers who have unlimited funds, that they would step forward and maybe do an hour on each conflict instead of trying to put all those conflicts into 1 hour. I'm happy to say that it's been a very challenging and at times harrowing experience for me. I went into this thing with my eyes wide open, but not very accomplished or not very knowledgeable about what it takes to make a film. And right off the bat, I was confronted with things that I hadn't thought about. For example, I wanted to use 8 different songs for the soundtrack. When I wanted to use the Stones and the Doors for Vietnam, and people said, "Do you have permission to do that?" And I said, "No." And so that was one of the early setbacks. Then I stopped and said, start all over, and I contacted Lorenzo Trujillo, an accomplished musician, and he put together a group of musicians that are just world-class musicians. And what I found out was that they really believed in the project. And because they did, they charged a fraction of what they might normally charge. And I think I found that throughout the whole project, that people wanted to be involved because they believed in what we were doing. So the project kind of took on a life of its own. It became almost like a cause instead of a film. And I have to thank all the people who came on board. The videographer, for example, offered to do the whole thing free of charge. I told him, "No, I can't have you doing that. I got to pay you something." The studio where we laid down the tracks and where we laid down the voiceover yesterday, when I saw what kind of a place it was, I said, "I don't think I can afford this." The guy said, "Don't worry about it. We're going to make this happen." So people came and they rallied around the project, and I'm just so pleased that people embraced it in the way that they did, because this is a story that needs to be told. If I had, like I said, if I had all the money in the world, there are thousands, literally thousands of stories out there that need to be told, but they're not going to be told because I only had 60 minutes to do the whole 250-year history. There are 86 Latino soldiers from the San Luis Valley whose names are not going to appear. And I'll bet you within that group of people, there are some really wonderful stories that need to be told. The good narrative of all these wonderful, patriotic people who we owe everything to, particularly now as we prepare to celebrate the country's 250th anniversary. So for now, what you have is my humble attempt to say thank you for all that you do by showing this small piece of history.
Yep, well said. And you can feel your passion, Ricardo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.